Without me, the house would collapse. This is nonsense. You know what? From here. Fans initially observed tantrums and tension, but now the truth is emerging. It breaks your heart more than you imagine. Comment if you've followed American Chopper since the beginning. Or no. You may be unfamiliar with Paul Jr.'s real-life challenges. Let's investigate what transpired behind the garage doors. My dad and I had a turbulent relationship. Next, we built a motorcycle. About 30 years of independence, Paul Teutul Jr. journey to success, mid-1980s. This occupied most kids for years, to play Nintendo, bike riding, or cartoons. However, like Paul Teutul Jr., he defined pleasure differently. He worked in the Orange County Iron Works at the heat and noise age of 12. Paul supplied older steel welders, tools, and mopped workshop floors of metal shavings. While other kids played on the beach, he collected scrap metal at his father's business first, like a toy. He turned rubbish into miniature sculptures. This initial meeting affected everything. Even seasoned players admired 14-year-old Paul's subtle excellence. He developed a building mindset. New talents, but not all was well at the workshop. Paul Sr. was strict with his kid. He often punished him more than everybody else. Junior couldn't get away with little offenses. When something went wrong, everyone yelled at him. While others thought this unjust, Sr. thought it would strengthen him. The personalities clashed more over time. Paul Sr. valued brute force and old approaches. Paul Jr., an artist, chose clean lines and perfect details. Junior renovated a railing one summer to make it more attractive and strong. After the first rejection, his father provided tacit assent and utilized the manuscript days later. Then everything made sense. Respect existed, but there was an ongoing conflict. Paul Jr. took a different approach to math test prep than typical high schoolers. He studied metalworking for half the day in a vocational program. Construction, welding, and steel stress reading were taught. He could foresee metal movement without touching it, according to one of his teachers. Junior practiced cuts and welds outside of class until they came naturally. He realized a fancy degree wasn't necessary for success. Alice needed expertise. After graduating, he joined his father's firm, no longer sweeping floors. He was a skilled manufacturer who talked professional language and had proof. At 19, Paul Jr. managed Orange County Iron Works railing section, no easy feat. This region generated over half of the company's revenue. Junior deserves it, even if most think it's a family choice. He modernized and enhanced the store's design. Because of their popularity, customers waited longer and paid more for his works. He oversaw a much older workforce. Others were hesitant, although several had military experience. Even the most stubborn realized he was capable. He discussed a metal shop. Respect is hard-earned. Still, something was missing. After years of building rails and staircases, Junior felt limited. His purpose was to generate life. The flame was lit when he discreetly drew motorcycles in an old notebook after work. His father also motorbiked again. It started lightly. Junior was requested to assist Senior in creating one. However, Paul Sr. was amazed by his son's sketch. It went beyond technical. It was art. Senior said, "Let's build bikes," after seeing his child. Consider this a business, not a pastime. It went beyond motorcycles. The idea was to fix something bigger. Their separation years. The family started Orange County Choppers with $175,000 from their iron smelting company. It was unevenly distributed. Seniors were 80%. Junior got 20%. It wasn't important now. Alice, they had a frigid basement with tools and a dream. However, their motorcycles gained attention after a few months. 4 months were spent building True Blue, their first motorcycle. This involved unending welding, blue with white flames and lengthy nights. It seemed to come from a famous designer, not a freezing garage in upstate New York. People salivated when they drove it to Daytona in 1999. They became stars from unknowns. But getting there wasn't easy. They produced motorcycles in a small icy factory in 2000. The tools failed. Suppliers wanted an advance payment. The money ran out shortly. To meet his schedule, Paul Jr. worked, often working 18-hour days and sleep on store couches. They fought often. Loud competitions. They battle for life, not fame. Each bike sold barely covered costs, but they continued. They couldn't stop, not because they should. Triumph of Paul Jr. and motorbike design. It was 2002 when I was called. Craig Peligian, a TV producer, saw their motorcycles in a magazine. He researched a new reality show, Mr. Paul. The producer suggested a junk motorcycle repair show. The senior rejected him immediately. Rebuilding it from scratch, he said. The deal nearly flopped. The producer returned with a better idea a few weeks later. Record the entire procedure, including arguments. Junior hated the notion. He worried the cameras would ruin everything. He wrote to his father in a 5-page letter that they would make us appear silly. The contract was offensive. Episodes cost 5,000 new camera shots. The bright lights also harmed their welding. Some producers suggested calling the show Family Friction. Paul Jr. was leaving. However, they needed money. They signed. No one predicted it. Which follows American Chopper's March 31, 2003 premiere. Everything ended after 3 episodes. Over 3 million watched weekly. They became more than bike builders. They were famous. Their modest boutique attracted tourists. Products flew off the shelves. Discovery Channel earned $13 million in its first season. Two Talls had to move into a $12 million building to survive. Anger first drew people to Paul Sr., however. Paul Jr. kept her awake. Turbulence didn't bother fans. They liked seeing him grow. Jr. made wonderful designs. His designs were controlled and accurate. One of his most popular videos shows him setting up a gas tank without music or talk. United States welding school enrollment rose. It was called the Pauly effect. It was the bike that changed everything. The Black Widow. More than a bike, it was a message. Custom wheels, spiderweb tank, and 167 hours of work. At its New York debut, 15,000 people watched. Security had to slow the flow. They quickly offered everything. Video games, t-shirts, and model kits. Over 280,000 model kits sold in 6 months. The business became a brand. Firebike was no ordinary helicopter. The Firebike changed Paul Jr.'s career after he finished building it in June 2003. Now he makes more than motorcycles. He raised a fireman monument, AM11, deceased in September 2001. Thus, every bike part must be useful. One startling element was a steel piece from the World Trade Center ruins. Paul didn't delegate. He focused it on himself. A diamond sheet bracket made for this motorcycle retained the jagged metal, the last and most poignant piece. That wasn't the only issue. He had to entirely rework the bike's frame since it was overly ambitious. Our 343 hand-painted insignias represented each firefighter who died. Carrying that much weight required engineering, literally and figuratively. Additionally, the New York City Fire Department did not classify the motorbike crash as a normal accident the next year. They each delicately bagged the bicycle debris like a fallen comrade. It mattered. The OCC Museum still has it. More than 248 events have been attended. Everyone arrives, is moved, and writes tributes and personal notes. Years later, Paul Jr. created another memorial bicycle project for September 11th. Following this disclosure on the 20th, January 2011 was enormous. Not only did motorcyclists come, Mayor Michael Bloomberg and the September 11th memorial president met. Daniel R. Tishman, memorial board member, urged Paul to make something remarkable. He supplied 2 motorcycles instead of 1. Memorial bicycles were kept. The other one was raffled to fund the memorial. On-site and online ticket sales supported the September 11th museum. People cried as the bike's cover was removed. What this machine represented moved families, tourists, and grown men. Design told a narrative without words. The Huffington Post covered it in detail for those who couldn't go. However, his engineering skills were considerably superior to the shiny paint and chrome. Paul Jr. designed more than bikes. A breakthrough method was gently introduced to the motorbike business in 2012. He started using T-spline modeling to create smooth, curved shapes. This strategy cut 40 hours to 15. This strategy was helpful when building an electric bike with Autodesk. Later, additional stores adopted the strategy, often without attribution or source. Paul surprised his co-workers in 2015. He invented a lighter, more stable motorbike frame. He altered the construction. Basic. He continued. CNC machine programming language, Weiman G Code E, was taught to him. His job was to design the bike, but now he could operate it. Having switched from artist to mechanical engineer, He oversaw the project's technical and creative components. The Paul Teutul Sr. son fight. The disagreement between Paul Teutul Sr. and his son escalated slowly. Sr. discreetly launched it in 2007. Jr. gave Anbot 20% of their company while maintaining control. The idea looked reasonable at first. The father runs the company, the son adds style. Things changed when Jr. acquired fame and made headlines. Sr. no longer received praise for his conventional art. They talked about Jr.'s innovations. The man who built Orange County helicopters from scratch wasn't satisfied. Background jealousy increased, Sr. the father's influence increased. Every time Jr. was late or worked, longer burning made it difficult to extinguish. The store was a battlefield by 2008. Arguments between father and son were usual. It was largely about control. Jr. wants free production. Sr. wanted match. Planets clashed. Creative spirit and strict discipline clashed. The American chopper cameras caught some of this. They missed the worst. Sr. felt furious. All's Jr. went out. Not only Jr. after Sr.'s fury, Jason demolished, a designer, once his best. All storegoers seemed apprehensive. Even silly, peacekeeping younger brother Mikey was emotionally devastated. He looked distraught, as if years of animosity had caught up with him. A scandal ensued. In September 2008, All's Jr. was late again, lost S-year crazy. An expected warning turned into a heated argument in front of the team. Jr. tried to emphasize that he always finished. The senior didn't listen. Jr. replied. He said the OCC would crumble without him. End of story. Sr. explodes, and Jr. He first flung a chair, then a trash can, across the office in wrath. Kicking a door, he stormed out. Suitor, he was fired soon after persecution. The chair-throwing event destroyed more than the furnishings. The event also harmed their commercial relationships. It became a meme subsequently. It was a disaster then. After firing, pandemonium ensued. The team split. Others backed Jr., others stayed quiet to avoid Sr.'s fury. Consumers worried. Will their motorcycles be as magical if their designer dies? The station panicked. Jr. was warned by TLC that his departure breached his contract. He worked as a contractor again briefly. However, it was brief. His retirement came in April 2009. Sr. continued. He wanted his 20% stake, wanted Waller Jr. out of the company. Sr. sued. After Jr. declined the sale, not only was money at stake in this lawsuit, this involves power. Sr. wants complete control. He claimed he could buy Jr.'s shares for $500,000, payable shares. He sued for millions more. He placed Orange County helicopters on both sides of the lawsuit, adding his company as a defendant. To entirely remove Jr. was devious. Jr. resists. Poorly drafted contractual provisions sparked the conflict. Because it said, Sr. may buy Jr. shares at market value, but didn't say how. The confusing language should be a judicial issue, family dynamics, and Paul Jr.'s bike battle. The New York Supreme Court first sided with Sr. in 2010. After finding the takeover provision legitimate, the judge ordered an independent appraiser to value the issued shares. Jr. appeared done. They sat next to each other in court without meeting eyes, but Jr. opposed. Everything changed in December. The Supreme Court of Appeal overturned it. The provision was not clear enough to support enforcement, they said. Jr. could keep his 20% ownership in OCC, and Sr. could not drive him out. The legal victory was huge, and I succeeded too. However, the son believed. He remained devastated, and his father couldn't get rid of him. Though not bad, things could be better. That's good, things aren't bad, they know. That sometimes these tasks take time. Despite this, Jr. could not produce bicycles immediately. A one-year non-compete clause applied. The agreement banned motorcycle production until 2010. He switched positions because of that. His early commercial designs included a dog park and the Coleman camping grill. He stated it was his hardest time, but he proceeded. He and his wife founded Hall Jr. across from the OCC. Designs by turning a room in their apartment into an office and hiring a young man to work on the computer. Paul Jr. made an unexpected move in April 2010 after his one-year non-compete clause with Orange County Choppers expired. He opened his bike business and rebelled. He was succeeded by the OCC founders, Little Vinny DiMartino, Joe Poliafico, Nub Collard, and Mikey. They left the company to pursue him. Cody Connolly soon joined. Not simply the corporation's methods change. Paul Sr. was shocked and outraged by the huge exodus. The Discovery Channel wasted no time. Their new series is Senior vs. Senior. Senior helped them turn the setback into reality TV gold. In Junior, father and son fought weekly, blurring family and ratings. Junior was a father-son battle. Although Paul Sr. and Junior had enmity for some time, this concert escalated it. Each August 2010 episode sparked excitement. Paul Sr. broadcast his family drama nationally. Paul Jr. was hesitant about this. Paul Sr. wanted to make the store fights theatrical and let viewers pick sides. One critic called it Fury Television, and he was right. Spiritual destruction trumped motorcycles. This was more than entertainment. The circumstances caused widespread hardship. People couldn't leave. In this pandemonium, unexpected events occurred. While making an episode, Paul Jr. met Rachel Beaster. She arrived as McCuff Girl in a yellow jumpsuit. Everything stopped then. What started on TV became very serious. Rachel provided Paul Jr. something important during a time of multiple lawsuits and name-dragging. She quickly calmed his storm. She had her own store and career. They helped Paul find balance and a deeper faith that would change his life. In August 2010, the pair married to start over. TLC's Cake Master made a majestic 6-tiered cake. Everyone saw the empty chair. Paul Sr. wasn't there. He was invited, but the court battle and bruised feelings were too fresh. He suffered a major psychological hit when his father was absent on his most significant day. I felt like something was missing even with almost 100 individuals present. Not only was this absence personal, it showed their growing distance. Some years later, the wounds have not healed swiftly. Paul Jr. has his first child in 2015. He and Rachel struggled to conceive. They won in New York after nearly 2 years. An unexpected event occurred during a brief Nashville visit. Paul Jr. said Hudson's birth changed everything, notably his view of his father. He eventually accepted Lauren's possessions while holding his baby after years of quiet in courtrooms. It was his first comprehension. To parent. And he knew how hard it must have been for his father to watch him leave. Paul Jr. changed quietly as the trial drama and television coverage developed. He contemplated his beliefs, especially his faith. He lived with Rachel, but he stated in an interview that he was not proud of his life so far. A great spiritual retreat changed this mindset. Their choice was crucial. Without marriage, no intimacy. It was hard, but worth it for them. He proposed to her. Even after marriage, Paul Jr. was inspired by his childhood beliefs. He even opened up about it. Share your experiences quickly to benefit others, solving problems on your own. He found the bravery to look back and contact the person he had never spoken to before. He should do it for himself and Hudson. Because every time he glanced at his child, he witnessed the effects of his muteness. The healing process began then. Paul Teutul Sr. and his son Paul Jr. never noticed bicycles and fought. Senior and Junior Paul Teutul, battle of reality TV. They were emotional and intimate. An old family company became one of reality TV's hardest challenges. Millions of fans watched father and son build distinct bikes and tear each other apart with every wrench turn. Their most crucial clash occurred in 2011, when both men appeared in a televised build-up that revealed their drastic changes. Junior created a motorcycle like the P-51 Mustang fighter plane, while Senior rode roughshod and violently. Elegant, inventive, and genuine. It told a story while biking. Junior was clearly building remarks and devices. The process continued. Tournaments pitted them against each other from 2010 to 2016. However, Paul Jr. won 5 of 7 events, indicating he was more than simply a youngster working for his father. He was impressive in his specialty. After quitting Orange County Choppers in 2009, Paul Jr. developed a corporation and empire. Most thought he would disappear due to a 1-year non-compete clause. He and Coleman grilled instead. His strategy modification kept his company afloat despite the economic downturn. It sparked several deals. He sold dog toys and built a public dog park. His mark eclipsed his father's by 2012. His apparel brand made more money, his bikes were featured in major ads, and he partnered with Blizzard and Paramount. He moved from building bikes to designing for famous entertainers and generating a lot of money.